Hey everyone, this is Josh back with Cardboard Chronicles, and in this episode I'm interviewing Jameson, a high-end basketball and football collector who recently quit his corporate job to move into cards full-time. He's going to share with us how that's going, also give us his take on the future of the hobby and how things are going currently. As you can see here, he's got some really nice pieces that he's going to show off. Really excited to take a look at what he's got, and he's excited to show it. We even dive into the latest in the NBA free agency that's been happening lately, and he tells us an amazing story about his logoman RPA Yanis card. You don't want to miss that story. And don't forget to check out howtocollectcards.com, a website I created dedicated to helping collectors of all skill levels build their collections. Feeling like you just don't know where to begin, you don't know what all these different things mean within the hobby, I've created this dictionary and I'm giving it away completely free. It has over 120 terms, all the terms that you need to know to get started collecting cards. We're also offering an advanced training course that is comprised of 17 different parts, everything from learning what cards you should be focused on buying for yourself, what cards are worth, where to buy the cards, when to buy cards to save yourself the most money, how to avoid different mistakes within the hobby that a lot of people make. It's just got everything that you need to be successful collecting cards, so please check that out. We've also got a bunch of new bonus content, and any new content that I create for the training course gets added for free, so if you've bought the course already, you're going to get all that new content, and it's free for life. I'm going to keep adding stuff to it. There's always going to be new content helping everyone. So please check it out. It's really extensive. It's got tons of great information. I think it's going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. Hey everyone, this is Jameson. How's it going, man?
Hey, doing good, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today's going to be a fun interview, so why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in the hobby.
Yeah, great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I think I've caught up with all your episodes. It's a great thing you're doing for the hobby, and just bringing exposure to both the good and the bad sometimes. But overall, I think it's definitely a helpful tool for both new and old collectors. So thanks for having me. Honored to be on. My story is not different than probably many of the other guests because I've seen a lot of your collector profiles. Started back probably about 30 years ago now. I remember chasing after the '89 King Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card, and really got into it then. Even worked part-time at a flea market that sold sports cards, and I had a co-op job in high school where I'd get out for part of the day and go work at a sports card store. That was where I was able to partner with. So always really had a love for sports in general. And, I think that when you're a sports fan and you're able to have that connection with your cards and your favorite player, and, it just creates a real cool, kind of almost like an extra bond to the game. So I think it's really, really a cool hobby unlike any other. When you take a look at like art or even other things people collect, but then you're able to watch that player on TV, it really hits that emotional chord. And so I've always loved it. And then, like many of your guests have already mentioned, you go to high school and college and other interests pop up, and you kind of, this is kind of like your hidden passion, but you kind of move away from it for a while. And then, got back into it probably early 20s. I remember getting back into it. I think the LeBron rookie year was one of the big things that got me back into it, because I remember actually opening 0304 Exquisite when it was $500 a box. Back then, did not hit a LeBron, but that kind of got me back into it. And and Kobe too was, had separated from Shaq, and he was hitting his pride. I've always been a big Kobe fan. So that kind of got me back into it after the MJ era had been over for a while and kind of drew out of it. And then, got married, had kids and stuff, and kind of faded out of it again for a few years, got a corporate job, and that was kind of occupying a lot of my time. And then I don't know how long, maybe it's probably been a while now, a good 6 or 7 years, been back in it real heavy. And, a lot of it came with, we were living out in the San Francisco Bay Area. They started having an up and coming pretty good team. They got this guy, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on their team, and started going to some of the games. They were really fun to watch. And it kind of, just watching him play basketball really rejuvenated my love for the game and how he plays, and kind of got me into the cards. And back into the cards heavier. I had my Kobe PC that I kind of put away and had a few cards but I wasn't heavy into it. And that really got the ball rolling for me. Now it's kind of ventured into this overbearing, overwhelming thing that dictates a lot of my time and effort, but I love it, and so if you can do something you love, it's great. Venturing out to other sports, used to mainly just be a high-end basketball guy. I would mess with the football and the baseball, but never really had the passion for it as much as the basketball. It's always been my favorite sport. But now over the past year or so, I've really kind of got back into more of trying to have a more well-rounded collection. It's nice when it's not basketball season to have a couple of guys that you can root for and pull for and have some kind of investment in. And so that makes it fun too.
Can you take us back to 2003? I haven't asked the guest this yet, and I've always wondered, like, what was kind of the landscape at that time? Because that was when Exquisite first came out, and people were kind of freaking out that it was, so expensive at 500. But today we kind of laugh at it like, man, that was cheap. What was it like back then at that time?
Yeah, it was, I think it was a really kind of exciting time in the hobby. I remember collecting in like 96, 97 when you had that great rookie class come in. And then, there's a few years where Jordan was gone and the rookie classes were kind of weak. When you look back at some of those set issues, there wasn't really a lot of great, 98, 99, you had Vince Carter for a while and he kind of phased out. But I just remember LeBron just brought all that excitement back to the league. And, you see a lot of sets that were created for the first time in that year, obviously, because Upper Deck realized, hey, man, we got this guy. He's an exclusive Upper Deck commodity. We got to capitalize on him while we have it. So I remember bringing a lot of buzz. And then, on top of LeBron, Carmelo had a great rookie year. You could tell Dwayne Wade was going to be a player. And so, I remember, Jordan and, that was really, the limited logo set was like the first jumbo patch autograph per se that had been out. So really just some hobby defining sets that we all chase today were created. I don't think anybody realized at the time what we were looking at, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people thought, oh, well, this is a one-off thing. They're doing it because LeBron's a rookie and, that won't be able to stand time because LeBron doesn't come around every year. But look where we are now, now it's now $500 a pack. We don't even scoff at. That's the normal, and, you got every year things like National Treasures now are $1,000 a pack by the time they get out to the public, for release. So, but I remember it was an exciting time and, things like logo men were just starting to roll around. Topps had done a few sets where they included the logo man, but it wasn't even defined. I don't think they were even numbered. There was just one that had a logo man in it. And, obviously you had I don't think there was any auto logo man at that time. If you remember, the Exquisite in that year were dual logo men, but they weren't autoed at all. I think it was Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, Jordan, and LeBron, Kobe. I don't know. There was 2 or 3, I think, dual logo man, but none of them were autographed at that point. I don't think it was till the following year where they had those dual logo man autos. But it was definitely exciting and groundbreaking, but I don't think anybody thought it would be what it is today. So.
And now it's like basically the standard, right? Like it's pretty much been that way ever since.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, I think it's like anything, a company tests the bandwidth of the market, and when they saw it was easily absorbed, and then when you're a collector and you get a taste for the quality of the card, the design, and I think, in many aspects, like I think the 0405 set might be one of my favorite sets. I love the limited logos. I think, nothing well over Rito 304 because it's the original, but I think the 0405, when you look at the emblems cards with the backwards E's and that hollow foil down the side, and then the limited logo set that year, I actually think the design was better the second year for a lot of the sets. And then they, I think like 06, 07 was probably the weakest year of them all. Weaker rookie class, but then, all the way through the very end, they did, such groundbreaking designs and designs I don't even think Panini has caught up to yet, in many aspects. So
sure. That's awesome. So why don't you jump in and kind of give us a taste for what you collect, what you have in your inventory, and show us some stuff.
Yeah, so you guys and girls might have seen my a lot of the cards I post on. I'm Exquisite Sports Collectibles on Instagram, so you can follow me there to catch out some of the cards. But I'll start. Well, I'll save Curry for the end because I think those are some more of my favorite cards. But we can go through some recent pickups. Listen, it's your show, so I'll start with this. I just picked this card up. I don't
Nice.
know if you can see it. Really cool card. I've always loved this set because of the dunking photo of LeBron, and then it's got the PSA. It's the double 10, 10 auto, and 10 grade. And with the colored borders, it's a really hard PSA 10 to get. So I needed a LeBron. I know you're a LeBron guy. I didn't have any LeBrons in my collection, so I figured I'd add it. These are two younger guys I'm really excited about picking up. Giannis, NTR, and then that's a gold Luca. Uh, yeah, number 3 of 10. Just got this back. Actually bought it raw. Got it graded this past week, so really excited about that. And I like the Giannis because it's got the A kind of Antetokounmpo, so I think that's cool. I think right now is actually a good buying time for Giannis. I think he's getting unfairly kind of crushed after that series.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the kid is still so young and so physically gifted. Every player hits a wall, early, and they got to bounce back for it. No different than LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, all of them. So,
He's only 24, dude. It's like ridiculous.
I mean, if he gets a mid-range jumper or a three-pointer, it's over. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Right.
nothing you can do to him. He's so athletic. I mean, we've never really seen a player like him. I'll tell you a funny story. Remind me about Giannis again, and I'll tell you that story of the one you wish you could have back. So,
Okay.
this one was really cool. This is the Wade
Wow.
Ultimate, the black label.
Wow.
Um, so I just got this. My buddy Fifth Down Sports Cards on IG put me up with a good deal on that. He's a good dude. Crazy cards, crazy cards. Um, this is probably maybe my biggest recent acquisition. Speaking of exquisite, uh, Kobe limited logo 304, 10 auto 95. One thing that was kind of interesting to me, and I didn't really notice until I was doing research before I bought it. There's only four, limited logos are 75 that year. There's only four Kobe's that are 95. There's 21 Jordans and there's 16 LeBrons, but only four Kobe's, which I found to be
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah.
I can understand the Jordan because he was a redemption, so he wasn't hand packed. So
Mm-hmm.
you probably got it in a case in the mail, so it was better condition. But I just thought it was weird the variety of differences there.
Wow.
Then a couple MJs. For me, because I kind of grew up in that era, I like the 90s autos better than like the exquisite stuff. So that's what I chase. There's one car that's my big chase at the National this year. So we'll talk about it later when we talk about the National. But that's the no number, really bold auto. It's got the cert. It's not the camp. It's the pack inserted. And I just love this card. It's so simple, but it's so cool. The Incredible out of 23.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
PSA 9. I need one more MJ auto to fill out my trilogy. So before we go to the Steph, this is a guy I've been picking up a lot in baseball. This is just a Ronald Acuna gold Bowman Chrome refractor. I think he's the next big thing outside of Trout. And then I know you messaged me on IG about this. This is a decent card. This is a champ ticket, Tom Brady out of 100. I mean, I just, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I bought it right before the Super Bowl, before the $400,000 9 sold, and I just got lucky, honestly. So, um,
Those
but
are insane cards, dude.
here's some of my Curry stuff. I just love this stuff. Start off with a couple pretty sick patches. I love the older silhouette cards. So that's the first year silhouette. It's got a huge chunk of the Warriors logo in it. That's another one. I've been a big chunk of logo in it. This one's only out of 5. Colossal, really sick patch. This is one of my favorite sets. This is the gold version. Really nice patch in that. This is the C from the finals, the first year they won it. So it was put in the following year's NT. So this is the C from the 2015 finals game 2 jersey.
Jeez.
Logo Man, auto,
God.
95, 10. Love that card. And here's a NT RPA, pretty nice patch on that one, 9510 auto. But those are a few things.
My God, dude. I don't know you had a lot of that. Holy crap.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I really like the N and O. I love that card. It's so sick.
oh yeah, man. I've had my hand on the trigger so many times to buy that card, and and then one popped up. I don't know. It was less than a year ago, and I put in an offer. It was like right close to the buy it now. And again, I was just thinking back. I'm like, you're going to be so mad at yourself if you lose this card over $500 and don't just hit
Right.
the buy it now. So I just hit the buy it now. I was like, I'm done. I don't care if I overpaid or I mean, now I way underpaid compared to, but I mean, that's if I have any advice for collectors out there, like when you get to that last $200 or $300 that you're like, you're going to look back a year and you're going to feel like such a moron if it's the card you really want that you didn't just step up and buy it. Because as you know, because you play in that same realm, those cards pop up few and far between your opportunity to buy them. And 9 times out of 10, it costs you 25% more the next time at least you want to buy the same card. So if it's something you like and you know you're going to keep it, just buy it. And you know what? When you're buying things like Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Curry, those guys are set. There's nothing's going to happen to their cards. Their legacies are built. And to me, those like when you talk about putting money in cards, Brady, guys like that, those are blue chip investments. I mean, if they go down, usually that means the whole market's going down. So you're screwed anyway. So
Be screwed with the best.
yeah, it's like Enron. You're just going down with the flame. So at least you got a cool card to look at.
I think that's like one of the most underrated pieces of advice you can give because, a lot of it's like, how do I save money? How do I, get a good deal? How do I work with dealers? How do I like negotiate? And it's like, sometimes you just got to buy it.
Yeah, and you buy and you build relationships, and you know and this just comes from years and networking, and I'm sure you're in the same boat. Probably 75% of the stuff I buy never touches eBay. It has never been on eBay. It's just knowing guys, knowing stuff they have in their collection, talking to them. Hey man, if you ever get rid of this, please let me know. And knowing that I'll pay fair and that I'm not trying to squeeze them out of every dime and nickel. And I got same people. I got people that come to me that I know that I've taken care of them. So if I got a card I'm going to sell, could I throw it on eBay and maybe get an extra $500? Yeah, but that relationship, that back and forth, is going to be much more valuable to both me and them, helping each other work through the hobbies. And if you can build good relationships in the hobby, I mean, that's key fundamental to getting yourself up. And I see a lot of guys that come in and try to do all these maneuvering real quick, and then they burn all these bridges, and then
Yeah.
nobody wants to buy their cards. Nobody wants to help them when they need something. And then you're just kind of you're stuck to the vices of eBay and all the headaches that come with that. So
Sure. That's a perfect segue to the next question. Um, you mentioned working at a corporate job, but you're currently transitioning to cards. Why don't you just take us through that, how that's going for you?
yeah, so I had a really good corporate job actually. I was with the same company for 15 years, and just wasn't. I was just going through life really not really loving what I was doing, just doing it because it was providing a paycheck and taking care of my family. But I was getting more and more serious with the cards, and starting to just investing in cards had become it just kind of happened by happenstance, become pretty good at buying cards, seeing cards, buying raw cards, getting them graded, and so it was something I had a passion for, right? And so it was something I was loving, and I'd been luckily I have a very supportive family unit at home, and you know talking to my wife about it, and she wanted kind of we're both looking for more freedom and the ability to enjoy our kids and all that stuff, and working in the hobby kind of was going to provide that. So we kind of discussed at the end of last year, and kind of made up our minds that we were going to forego kind of the corporate lifestyle, and kind of jump into to doing this as more of a full-time job. So we're currently, like I showed you my white walls, we're in process of relocating down to North Carolina, and really I'll probably use like the national this year is really my big kind of launch into kind of have some really materials marketed to really kind of, let everyone know like this is what I'm going to be doing full time. And so, anything I can do to help people or they want to be a part of it, just really excited about launching off. And, it'll kind of be focused. I'm not trying to be like a breaker or anything like that. It'll really be focused more in the highline realm. That's really where my passion is for it. I love those cards. I love the hunt of finding unique, rare cards. Part of that's the fun for me is the acquisition of the unobtainable card or the real rarities. And so the hardest part will be balancing the PC and the business. I'm already trying to get.
Yeah.
I'm trying to buy like big lots and collection. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Just set it aside.
But I have bills to pay as well.
Right.
So that's what I'm like. Some of the cards like I just showed. Like my Curry stuff, that's going to be PC. The Jordan autos, like those, that'll be PC. The Kobe, some of that, and then the other stuff will be kind of just more in and out. And I'll as I see rare stuff that I want for my PC, I'll shoot it to the side every now and then. But no, I'm looking forward to it because it's something I love, and it really is. I know there's a lot of stuff, and I know we'll get into a little bit later. And obviously, this is more positive. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the hobby, but at the core of it, it's a great hobby. I think it brings a lot of people together of diversity, different backgrounds. Looking at your whole list of guests in the past, I know a lot of those guys that started as a username in a forum or on eBay or on Facebook. And then you go to things like the national sports card shows, and then you really build like relationships. Like my wife, sometimes she's like, you have like this whole alternate universe that you live in that I don't even like you have all these friends I don't know, you have like your regular friends and then you have like your card friends. Right. And it's like, she's like, sometimes she doesn't even understand it, but she's super supportive of it. But it's funny, but it's a great hobby. And, if any hobby, you're going to get some good and some bad, but I think overarching, the good way outweighs the bad. And, I love it. I love being a part of it. So
That's great, man. I love bringing on people that are transitioning to it full time and do whatever I can to help get their name out a little bit more. Cause it's kind of scary for you and your family a little bit, right? Like you're giving up kind of the conservative route and like the easy paycheck to a little bit riskier but it's more fun for you. And it's something you're passionate about. So I love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that was, anytime, that was the biggest weight on the shoulders was, okay, like, don't be like silly Jameson, like, like, yeah, you want to deal baseball cards. All right. But is that feasible? But, I talked to a lot of people, there's a lot of supportive people that have made the transition. A lot of people we both know that are doing that type of thing. And, they were big kind of helpers and helping me kind of mentally sort things out. And, I've always been a big believer. If you don't believe in yourself, who can you expect to believe in you? And, that we can make it happen. And and I didn't want any regrets. I don't want to look back in 30 years and be like, oh, well, you got this, but you sacrificed your whole adult life doing something that you weren't passionate about, didn't love. And so, and a lot of it was being freedom too, to have, the time to work when I wanted to work. Not that it doesn't take a lot of work, but you can kind of be flexible and get to spend time with the kids. At the end of the day, they're not around forever before they go out and start their own life. And that was a big determining factor as well. So
that's great, dude. All right. Well, you touched on it a little bit, so why don't you just kind of jump into, your opinion on the current state of the hobby, and just like where you see things headed and, where we're at right now.
Yeah. I think, obviously we kind of chit chat a little bit before we came on, and, there's good stuff and bad stuff both happening in the hobby. And I know, there's been, you can go on any forum you want and read about all the bad stuff. So we'll keep it off of that. And I think, this sports card boom over the last 3 or 4 years has been absolutely just remarkable. When you look at where card values were years ago compared to now, it's outstanding. And I think it's, we talked earlier, I remember 2 years ago thinking we were in kind of a bubble-ish territory, and it's well exceeded my expectations of where things are. And I know people are scary, but I've kind of taken the opposite point. I've seen a lot more bigger money. I would say people that are a lot smarter than me with money that are investing into sports cars as kind of an alternate asset. And, it's like that. We talked about it earlier. I think I talked, it's that piece of Americana. I mean, it's that emotional tie. It pulls at your string. So not only does it give you this investment, it's like, you buy a piece of art, you buy a Picasso. Well, Picasso is not going to go drop 50 on the Lakers, to start the season, and so it's just this thing, and it's just another investable, asset. But I think the uniqueness of it, the emotional ties, and being able to participate. I have two young boys, and they love opening the packs, and just the enjoyment you can get doing it. It can be a full family type hobby. And the thing is not everybody has to be a high-end collector. They make many ranges of cards. So, I don't know, there's always this, I think, both up and down the line, both the high end to the smaller end and smaller end to the higher end. There always seems to be almost like this kind of class warfare of the two sides of the hobby. And there really doesn't need to be, because there's enough for everybody, and everybody can do their own thing and what makes them happy. But I think it's a great opportunity. I know some people are, leery of people like Gary Vee and that speaking up, like, oh, it's going to bring new people that don't know what they're in the hobby. But I think it's great. I think it's giving a spotlight to sports cards that many people didn't have, and it's bringing new, fresh people into the hobby. I remember you watching one of your videos talking about the trade night and all these young kids now, like with all these collections they've amassed. And I mean, like, you're able, like, if you are successful in doing sports cards, like those kids, like the ability to buy, trade, like that's real life. Like they're learning more life skills doing that stuff than they're learning at school right now. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that's different is that the asset or what they're utilizing to make that. But they're learning business. They're learning to make deals. They're making good deals. They're making bad deals. They're learning real life financial lessons. And so I think from old to young, it provides so many different opportunities. And then again, on top of that, the relationship. So, for as many new people and new people come in and stuff, like we were talking about, you still a lot of the same faces. It's still a lot of great relationships. I just think and with a lot of the sports, I think we're entering like almost like a golden age. I know baseball players will never be as good as Babe Ruth, and there'll never be a Michael Jordan, even though I love Michael Jordan. But I think when you look at leagues as like a whole, the athleticism and the players that we're able to watch right now, I mean, I don't think any of the leagues have ever been as talent rich as they are today. And so I think we haven't even seen the Zion effect yet. Luka last year was just a joy to watch. I mean, we were talking, guys like Yanis, and I mean, there's just these players that are coming around. In football, you look like a Patrick Mahomes, baseball, Mike Trout, that are generational talents, and the whole new younger breed that's coming up right behind them. So I think it's just a great time to be in collecting, I think. So.
Yeah, for sure. I always think of the example of James Harden for some reason when I think of like there's just like this crazy mass of like generational talent that's kind of waved through these last few years, and you've got a guy that's like averaging 37 points, like scoring, and he's not even really getting close to winning a championship just because of how deep everything is, right?
I know, but I think it's one of our topics we're going to discuss later, but that's going to be interesting this year because it's kind of the balance of power in the NBA. Kawhi is kind of like the Thanos of the NBA. He's giving power back to he made everything equal again. So it's going to be an interesting year. I'm looking forward to the NBA season. So.
Yeah. So what's your take on? I guess we'll start with the Lakers. Like, what do you think about the Lakers offseason moves and them not getting Kawhi? How do you think they're set up?
I'm happy they didn't get Kawhi because I think it would have been a wrap. For the rest of the league, I think that would have been just too much. Barring an injury to one of the big three, had they gotten him. I think they're gonna be a good team. Right now it's on paper by name value, they look like they have a good team. We'll see how it all gels. Some of the guys are aging. What Boogie Cousins are you gonna get? What Rajon Rondo will you get? I thought the Danny Green signing was a real good one. I think Quinn Cook can be a nice shooter for them off the bench. AD, Listen, I know a lot of people like AD. To me, right now, he's a stat guy. Like, to me, he hasn't done anything um, by himself that I guess if the jury's still out for him, is he that kind of impact player? I don't know how much going to the Lakers from a hobby perspective will help him. I think there's going to be that initial Lakers push, but I think whenever you play on a team with LeBron James, you're always going to be second fiddle. Doesn't you know? And I think that's what Kawhi even knew. That he would even if people thought he was better than LeBron, which I'm not saying he is, that the star power of LeBron, no matter the player, the star power is just overwhelming, and LeBron will never be second to anybody. So on his team.
So what about your Warriors? I feel like people are just like writing them off. I've seen people say they're not making the playoffs, and it's like,
that's
what?
crazy.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's like, listen, and I don't, we'll see what happens, but it's like people forgot about the Warriors before Kevin Durant got there. They won 73 games without Kevin Durant, won the championship before that.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's record when Kevin Durant wasn't playing was like, I don't know, like 31-3 or something like that. But I mean, the Clay injury obviously hurts. I thought, when I woke up that one night and saw they got D'Angelo Russell, I'm like, what happened? But I think that's great because they're going to need that. They're going to need some scoring punch with Clay out. Defensively, it'll be interesting if you're playing Curry and D'Angelo at the same time in the backcourt. Draymond can be the old Draymond, but I don't think he can do it season long. I think it comes in spurts now. The loss of Iggy will hurt. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I was shocked they got Kevon Looney back at such a cheap deal.
Yeah.
Shocked nobody signed him. But, I think the Clippers are going to be real tough this year. I think defensively, they are going to be a nightmare for teams.
Someone posted like, if you're a point guard, Beverly guards you, and then someone sets a screen, and then Paul George switches on you, and then you set another screen, and then Kawhi switches on you, and you're like, what the
no, there's nothing. On the wings, you're just going to be just toasted. But it's interesting. I think Kawhi moving to the Clippers is the biggest hobby impact because even though he doesn't have that personality, what he did this year obviously took his value and name recognition up 3 tiers, right? And if he's the first, he could legitimately be the first person to win a championship with 3 different franchises. Him or LeBron both. LeBron, same thing. And if one of those guys gets there, if LeBron's already, second, third, wherever you want to put him, probably best players of ever. But Kawhi wins another one. Does he start creeping in the top 15s, top 10? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's definitely got an argument, what he did this year was pretty amazing. So
it's incredible to have LeBron, Kawhi, Curry, Giannis, Durant. I'm probably missing like Harden. You've got all these just like these generational guys all like at the same time going at it. It's just incredible. It's insane.
You think about Russell Westbrook, who's averaged a triple-double 3 seasons in a row, and he's not even a top 10 player in the league, most people. That's it's silly. And then you got these guys coming up right behind him. You got Luka, who looks like he's going to be maybe an all-time player. Zion, we don't know what's going to happen. I think Tatum's going to have a big year this year now that Kyrie's out of the way.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of young, good players coming in right behind. Ben Simmons, what will he be? Joel Embiid?
It's incredible. So why don't you touch on the Harden Westbrook situation? I don't think I've actually talked to anybody in an official capacity on that move.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think the Chris Paul Harden thing was going to work out, and I think it did better than I thought it was going to do. I'm not a big Russell Westbrook fan. I'm not a big James Harden fan, though I think he's a better player. I think he's a great player. I just think his style, it's going to be interesting. They're going to have to give up something from their style of play, or it's going to blow up by the middle of the year. James Harden's definitely the better player. It should be his team. I think the ball will still run through him a lot of the time. But I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. How do you feel about it?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm not a big Westbrook fan just because of the shot selection.
Yeah.
But from like a fan's perspective and his, his energy and his tenacity, I can never question that. I think it's going to be up to D'Antoni to get
Yeah.
creative and how he spaces them and how he like. If I were D'Antoni, I would be really focused on getting Westbrook in more of like an off guard kind of situation where he's slashing and
Yeah.
off the ball and not shooting as much is the big thing. Like I think in Oklahoma City it was like, oh, this is his team. He can kind of shoot whenever he wants. Now hopefully they can utilize his skill a little bit better and not make him shoot so much. Honestly, it would be just a big boost for his game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, he's a pretty reliable as far as not being the too injury prone. So, I mean,
Yeah,
just having his availability where Chris Paul was hurt. I mean, he missed
sure.
20 games every year he was there. So they'll have that availability. I think that'll help James Harden for when they get to the playoffs because you can always tell
Yeah,
he goes those deep playoff runs by those games where they usually get knocked out. It's like
yeah.
he has no legs left in his jump shot anymore. So I think that'll help him. But it'll be interesting. I mean, definitely two quirky guys, two quirky personalities. But I mean, I guess they probably have a relationship from their OKC days. So we'll see how it goes.
It's kind of sad if you're an OKC fan to go from Durant, Harden, Westbrook to like nothing.
Yeah, I think some guy wrote an article the other day. It was like the dynasty that never was. And I mean, you think about that team, and someone was saying I didn't remember at the time, but I think at the time Harden left, they were like $6 million away from a deal, not per year, like in total. It was $6 million that OKC wouldn't go up, so they traded him, gave the money to Ibaka, and the
Isn't that
rest.
the same example as your in and out auto?
Exactly, man. Just pay the money. Pay
Like he's gonna be gone and you're gonna lose this thing.
the money. Just pay the money. But when you're in those small markets, it's tough. It's tough for them to keep those guys. So, and then Brooklyn with how do you feel about KD and Kyrie?
That
Will
one's
they win
just
a title together? You think?
I don't know, man. That one just feels like a hold, I guess, for a year, right? We're just kind of
Yeah,
waiting for Durant to come back, but I don't know. They're kind of like on the outside looking in for me just a little bit.
I agree. I agree. It's KD's a weird. They're both weird guys. I think a little bit. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think KD had I don't know. I think he might regret looking back on it, leaving the Warriors, but we'll see. I'm sure he wants to prove to people that he can do it without him. I'm sure that's what this move is all about. So
Sure.
I don't know. I don't
And
know.
they're both incredible players. I can't deny their skill and what they've accomplished. So, I mean,
No.
they could be wrong.
Yeah. 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 But
All right, I wanted to give you some time to talk about national and kind of highlight what you got going on and kind of walk us through what's your plan and what I can do to help expose that a little bit.
oh, sure, man. Well, thanks. Well, flying in, this year I think it's the first time I'm spending like the whole time there. I mean, usually because I had the other job in the past, I would fly in like Thursday, stay till Sunday, fly out. But I'm flying in Tuesday night. We'll be there Wednesday when the doors open, be set up. I'm gonna be in booth 658, set up with my buddy who owns Atlanta Sports Cards. It's a great guy. His name is Josh, and so we'll be over in like the corporate section right near where Steel City and Panini are and stuff. So hopefully we'll have some carpeted floor that we get to stand on because the feet at the end of the national are toasted. But yeah, we'll be there. A lot of the cards you see on my Instagram, a few of the cards I showed this evening will be out in the display case. Again, focus more on the high end. So we'll have a lot of great stuff to come check out. So yeah, we'll be there. Probably go to trade night that one night. I've never been in the past, but I heard you talk pretty well about it. So we'll probably check that out. Might do the Panini VIP event on Saturday, and really just looking to buy, sell, trade, at the show. Again, focus more on high end stuff, but taking a look at everything. Everything if it's for sale, it's also for trade. So if you see something in the booth and you're worried you don't have the money, we take both trading cards and cash. So you can have either one. So yeah, I think that's one of the favorite parts is trading at the show. You can get a lot of unique pieces, and a lot of time the best stuff I seem to find are from the people walking around, not necessarily the other dealers. You get a lot of great people that can't come set up at a show or have real jobs, and so they're just walking around with great cards in their backpack or their briefcases that everybody carries these days. So please stop by. I'd love to see what you have. And if you see anything, love to work a great deal. Yeah, we're just looking forward to it. When are you getting in?
I'm getting in Tuesday. I like to get in a little early and kind of settle in, but I'll be there through Saturday.
Through Saturday? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Are you
Yeah.
setting up or are you just walking around?
Yeah, everyone kind of asks if I'm setting up, and I guess it's kind of, I guess maybe I should have thought about doing that, but no, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to tie myself down to being stuck at a table, and I know, of a lot of dealers that I talk to kind of feel the same way, so they like to have someone hold it for them and walk around, but I think it's more just, I just enjoy walking around.
Yeah, I do too. I love walking around too. And if I wasn't kind of launching out, I probably would do some walking. But the guy I'm with, I trust, so he'll watch my stuff and walk around. My ADD will kick in. I'll have to get
Yeah.
out, walk around and check things out. And I always feel like when you're stationary, you're like missing out on some action somewhere else that's happening. It's like, what if a guy's walking around with the card I need and he's on that row and I'm back here?
We need an app for that, like some home base kind of app where it's like your
Yeah.
robot version is at back at home base.
Yeah, no, I know. So, looking for what are you looking for? Are you going looking for anything in particular this year, or
Ron.
LeBron
Yeah,
specific card? The card like you told me about today, or
I've been thinking about getting into some more exquisite stuff. I've picked up
yeah.
one exquisite piece that I showed a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Very nice.
I'm kind of this year kind of just going to just kind of see what happens. I don't really have anything. I don't have like a list or anything.
Nice.
A green PMG penny would be nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah, it should be an interesting year. I mean, with both the good and the bad, it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be, a lot of stuff happening. Hopefully, everything is on the up and up, and everybody has a great show. I'm looking for, if anybody has out there, the third card in my MJ trilogy is the 97-98 Sign of the Times, the red die cut top.
Oh, that card
Yeah,
is so sick.
I know. I feel like part of me is like, it's so ugly, it's beautiful. I don't know. It's like this weird design.
Yeah.
But I've been the second highest bidder on eBay on one.
Oh,
And it's killer. I don't know. That's like the no number auto, the incredible gold, and then that's like my 3-card MJ trilogy, and I can be happy and put them away and forget about them. So that would be like my diamond of all diamonds to find. But it seems like every year I go to the National, I end up like finding this really cool card like I wasn't even thinking about, and I get picking up. And I think that's one of the coolest parts of the National is like if you run in or come across something that like you didn't intend on finding or you wasn't even in your thought, and then like it's in your hand, you're like, oh man, I have to have that card. It's so like you'll never see it again. And so it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, just the wheeling and dealing, and just like you see a lot of great cards, a lot of great collectors, a lot of great events, and it's like you get to be a sports card nerd for like 144 hours straight or something. I don't know. It's cool.
that's a good way to sum it up. I think it's just like
Yeah.
uninterrupted time with cards, and all the
Yeah,
people
exactly.
that you talk up to on Instagram, they're all there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the really cool parts is like these people you've had like this ongoing dialogue and relationship, and you've done deals, and like I do a lot of overseas deals, and like I know some of the guys from like over in Asia and stuff, are flying in and coming in, and that's real cool getting to meet them, and like Layer 911 and stuff like that. I've done like I don't know how many high end deals with him, and he's like flying in. Never gotten to meet him, but I feel like he's like, a best friend, and just different guys like that, and being able to put a face with a name and stuff is really cool, and that's what's I think one of the coolest parts of the event. So
For sure. All right, well, we'll wrap it up. Do you have any last minute advice for people starting to get more serious about cards or national or anything like that? We'll wrap it up.
yeah, I would just say, just go at your own pace. I mean, uh, when I started off, I didn't start off with the cards like I have. It's a slow buildup where you're educating yourself. If you try to jump in too quickly, uneducated, that's when you get burned, and that's when you can get a bad taste for the hobby or deal with the wrong type of people that are not for your best interests. So, the best thing I could say is start slow, buy players you like. That way you have that, at least that emotional attachment. It's not all financial. And then, if you want to ramp up and start to get into more exotic, nicer stuff, build, don't be silly. It's like you wouldn't take $100,000 and go into the stock market and just throw it in there and not know what you were buying. Same thing with sports cars. Just be slow. have fun. And then if you get to the point where it's getting like too serious and you're not having fun, it's probably a time to like take a step back, reevaluate what you're doing, and then keep going. But like it's a great hobby. There's a lot of people that have a bad experience here or there, but mine a positive have way outweighed my negative. And if you just keep at it, you'll find your groove and what you like and what you enjoy and what brings you joy out of it. And so, have fun with it. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. So
For sure. Well said, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck with your new venture, and I really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. I'll post links to everything I can just to get you some more exposure and help you out. So I, again, wish you luck, and thanks for joining.
appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I wanted to go back to the Giannis situation. So back in uh, 13, 14, Giannis rookie year, I got into a 10-case immaculate basketball group break. This was before Giannis was Giannis. I had the 16th pick for a team draft, got the Bucks with the 16th pick. Out of that case, there was one Giannis rookie 99, one or two acetate Giannis rookies, one premium patch gold Giannis rookie, and the Giannis logo man autograph rookie. I had all those in one break. I think I sold the Giannis for $12,000, which was a lot back then. And he wasn't Giannis, you know what I mean? He was a project, and people were like, oh, he could be good one day, da, da, da. But I mean, $12,000 for a card back then. And I mean, what's that card worth now? 150,000 probably,
Easily, yeah.
maybe more.
That's
So
incredible, man.
yeah,
I never, you never second guess that stuff though, because it's like
yeah,
you can't tell the future.
no. I mean, I also, I bought several Curry NT rookies for $4,000 and they're selling, 50, 60,000. So, I mean, wins and losses, you seem to hold on to the losses a little bit more than the wins sometimes,
Right.
but I just, and I know who has the Giannis today, but man, I mean, that break, like, I think I paid like $500 to get into that break or something. And, when you calculate this card, that's probably what, $200,000 worth of cards pulled out of five. If you would have held all of them till today, I think I even tipped the guy. I think it was Houdini who broke it. I think I gave him the 99 rookie just as a tip for getting me all the other cards.
That's funny, man.